But I think honestly, I'm seeing something like that, like, okay, yeah, the media is, they're gonna double down. They're either not gonna show it, or they're gonna make up some false narrative. But
hmm
we have not only several several hundred thousand people showing up to this thing. We even have, like, well, currently we have not only a president that's behind it. We have and a vice president. They're behind it. They were there.
hmm
Um, which is they were they've been kind of right from the get-go. They've been kind of behind it, and trying to get Planned Parenthood defunded, all this,
hmm
and putting this pro-life uh, legislation forward, which is great.
hmm Yeah. Everyone, was dumping on. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have something to do with babies, but everyone was kind of dumping on Mike Pence about his like attitudes and or his rule about not having a dinner alone with any woman that's not his wife. And it's like, oh, you're such a prude and da da da. And it's like, oh well, guess what happened? Me Too happened. You can guess, and who can say that they, who can definitively say that they haven't cheated on their wife? Mike Pence,
Mike, exactly.
because
Well,
he has
and
that kind of relationship with his wife. That he honors her by saying, I'm not gonna have dinner alone with another woman.
it's not because he doesn't like women, or that
Yeah, it's not that. Yeah, again, yeah, he's
he
freaking married and has kids, so he obviously likes women. But he
yeah,
but he
and
loves his wife. He likes women, but he loves his wife.
he's fulfilling. He wants to make sure that there's no you know impropriety seen. Like, it's kind of part of it. He's living out the Christian, kind of the Christian life. He's living it
Mm.
out, like, and um there'd be some Christians who wouldn't follow that code. But honestly, it's very, not only is because he's not thinking about himself, he's thinking, like, how would my life, um how would that affect her? And then two, it's, especially him being in a public office like that.
Mm.
Oh, so and so conservative Mike Pence, he's a Christian, but he's out with someone not his wife. Then they start taking pictures of that, and that blows up, and it's like, oh, what a hypocrite. And so he's not only honoring his marriage vows and the things that he believes in, but he's like, it's a God honoring thing. It's like, well, I'm not gonna defame God or my family or this. And good on him, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think it, honestly, it is a good it's a good thing to have, like, especially like when I'm in a relationship. I try not to go out alone with other women. It's just like, it's not, at least not without them there. Or if it's a group thing, that's a different story. But
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, it's just
But yeah, like
smart.
like that intimate time, when it's just you and another person, that it could be the most innocent thing in the entire world, but from the outside looking in, you know, you you're just gonna make all these insinuations.
Exactly.
And I mean, not to excuse it, but it's just kind of human nature. From afar, it can be interpreted as anything.
Right.
It's only those who are within the circle can they will they truly know. But
But with all this, like, the stuff that's said about Mike Pence, and like now his wife is being raked over the coals, because now
that's
she went
right.
back to be a school teacher at a Christian school, who, hey, it's a Christian school, and one of the rules there is like you have to abide by Christian principles, which means not being in a um, homosexual relationship or uh, being engaged in kind of sexual impropriety, all these sorts of things, and staff and students included. Um,
Right. Yeah. I
and
mean, when I first heard about this, it was just oh, so yeah, so Mrs. Pence took a job at a private school where they can have whatever standards they want, and and one of those standards just so happens to be, no homosexual or transgendered student or staff members.
and I guarantee that that's not the only thing either. I bet you it's like in sex outside of marriage or being in kind of there's probably some sort of
Right, yeah, because the school is based on based on religious principles. Um, I'm sure there's going to be a whole host of other things like no drinking beer, like no drinking alcohol, or
I guarantee that's part of it.
yeah. And so, I mean, it'd be one thing if Mrs. Pence, you know, took a job at a public school, and then she mandated no homosexual or trans students or staffers, no no alcohol or cigarettes or tobacco or drug usage will be setting those uh, standards or guidelines for a public school. I could understand the outrage, but this she took a position at a private Christian school, private and Christian, so it's not open to everybody, and they're going to go by a certain set of principles. I don't see what the huge outrage is.
Tell you what the outrage is because the left hates Christians, and all these stories kind of connect to what we're talking about. I the with the March for Life, uh, they're not going to cover it because oh well, they're a bunch of crazy nut jobs who are you know love the Bible and all this other stuff, so we're not going to cover that. It's not important. Then you have the Catholic high school students. Oh, well,
Mm.
they're white and they're racist, and God forbid they a couple of them had MAGA hats on, and then they demonize them, saying that oh look how terrible they are, how they treated this Native American and all this other stuff, or how these students at the school like how they were dressed in blackface when that's not the case at all. And then you have like yeah they're making fun of Mike Pence and saying how sexist he is for not wanting to have dinner with anyone but his wife, or saying how terrible his wife is for going to a school that doesn't believe in, um, it's is has a policy to, follow a biblical mandate of, living a pure life. Give me a freaking break. And it's it's not to the point where Christianity is outlawed yet, but we're getting to the point where um, you know, nothing's new under the sun. There's gonna come a time where, you know, where we're gonna have a Nero-like character that's calling the shots, and uh, they are gonna, blame all these horrible things on Christians, and then yeah, it's gonna be a free for all on us. I mean, it already kind of is. Like we get made fun of or, blocked from a lot of things, and me as a white guy, I'm the most evil I'm the most evil man in America. I'm a, conservative white guy who is a Christian. Yeah, I mean it's
Right.
a three for
Yeah, you have the trifecta. But an interesting point was brought to my attention recently, and if you are bigoted or prejudicial to Jews, it's called anti-Semitic. If you are prejudiced or bigoted towards Muslims, then you're Islamophobic. But what is the term for someone who is bigoted or prejudicial to Christians?
Good question. Normal.
That is the question. Why is it that there are terms for every other major Abrahamic religion? Some word that you can use to categorize someone as being anti-Semitic or Islamophobic. But what is the term for someone who is bigoted or prejudicial against Christians?